The two shall become one flesh. So, Jesus says, they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate.
Yeah, feed me, feed me. Feed me, come on. I'm his chief.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today is a bit of a cheesy video because we're celebrating a year of marriage and we reached 10k subscribers, so we're just so thankful for that. Thank you for following us, supporting us, leaving nice comments, just encouraging us to share our lives, hopefully to inspire and encourage you guys. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so we basically put out a message on Instagram asking you guys to ask us some questions that we can answer, so hopefully you can kind of get like a vibe about our marriage and yeah, maybe learn or help. But yeah, so yeah, we got a few questions, but most of them were like the same-ish, of the same nature. So we kind of grouped it up, and then we basically just answered the different topics that we were being asked.
So we kind of summarized all the questions.
Exactly.
Into different categories like conflict, finances, family planning, faith.
Okay, so the first question is, who is the fun one in the relationship?
Take a guess.
Me, I don't think it's Olu. I'm like the serious one, and Olu's like he's more fun.
I'm serious. I'm a serious person.
He's an easygoing guy, so Olu's more fun. And then the next one is your favorite question.
Oh my days, guys! I'm sick of this question. My wife is not taller than me. Every time I get this from people in public, church, friends, like, what gives you guys the impression that she's taller than me?
Because I think I'm always sitting up.
Yeah, I like to slouch.
Yeah, he slouches, maybe that's
but
what I'm gonna say.
I am way taller than her. I'm tall. I'm taller than her.
That, yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys fight in front of each other? Yes, because we can't hold it in.
But my wife, I remember there was once upon a time
gosh.
where she did not want to fight in front of me. And I was thinking, what's going on? And then pregnancy hit her. All of that having to walk out, that just stopped.
Someone is like, listen, some things that you try to keep, you will just be exposed to pregnancy.
Exactly. Pregnancy but yeah, it's natural, guys. It's natural, it's better out than in. Next question.
How and when did you know each other was the one? Okay, I'll go. I knew Olu was the one. There was two final moments. One before we got into a relationship, and one while we were in a relationship. Not engaged, but in courting. So the first one was, this was when we were just friends, and Oli wanted to go cinema with me, and I said yeah, because we're cool, you know. We always used to go out together. So this particular day, I was tired after work. We had said that we we're gonna go to the cinema, but I was tired and I had a long day at work, and I was just a bit grumpy. So I said to Oli, look, let's cancel cinema, and Oli was like, no, like I was looking forward to it. So I was like, okay, cool, let's just go. So we went to the cinema, and I was just in a mood, and Oli was just really happy and excited to be around me. And anyway, I just remember we went
to be around you, to go to the cinema.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah. So what's it called? We went to the cinema, and it was a funny film, and I just remember that he made me feel so relaxed. Like, he just eased me. And I just remember going home, it was so simple, and I just remember going home thinking like, I want to be able to feel like that for the rest of my life. Like, I don't want to be tense. Like when I'm tense, and then someone can just really cool you like that. That was one defining moment. The other one was when we're in a relationship and we were in a car and we're going somewhere and my friend was in the car and I think we were just laughing, having jokes. But in the midst of that, we offended Olu. But I didn't know I offended him. But so anyway, so we dropped my friend home and I was still in the car and he was being a bit like cold, but not cold, but just silent, not his usual self. So I knew something was up, but I didn't think it was anything that I did. So he basically he was supposed to drop me home, but he drove us to a park. It was in the middle of the night. He drove us to a park, and he said, "Look, let's go for a walk." And he took me by the hand and he said, "Look, you did this, this, and this, and it really offended me." And I remember just thinking, I was just blown away, because if somebody can treat you with so much grace in the midst of you offending them, that's just special. And I remember just thinking, wow, like, what an amazing person. Like, I've never seen so much grace from a person in my life. So yeah, I just remember at that moment, I just thought, wow, like, God, like, this is special. So that was what made me think. Those were moments that just made me think, I got something here, I got something good. How have you handled being married and having a child all in the space of 1 year? Number one, you kind of just have to get on with things anyway. Sometimes you really don't know what you can handle until you're thrown at it. So it wasn't like a thing that we had to like brace ourselves for. It's just you get on with it as it comes. And I think being quick to adapt helps you get on with things better. I think that's been the case for us and Toby having our son. And another thing is that when people get married, they just have this thing like, I want to be married for a year and we just do everything. We're gonna travel, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and then we can have children. Like, so it's like you've already kind of built up this mindset mindset that children are a stumbling block. But we were of the perspective that children are a blessing. So when we found out that I was pregnant, although we were shocked, we weren't like, oh, darn, we can't go to, Santorini. It was more like...
We actually did go to Santorini. After we found out.
It's true. But we as soon as we found out we were pregnant, we felt like, wow, God, you chose to bless us with this.
Yeah, I think the fact that we found out we were pregnant earlier on in our marriage I think really just allowed us to mature a lot.
How do you feel about having a public marriage on YouTube?
You go first.
Our marriage is only as public as we make it. So even if you feel so involved in our lives, you actually don't know every single thing. So we do control what we show people, because I feel like people just think, how could you show that? Like, I don't know, you just don't see everything.
With an American accent.
But I just feel that in this day and age of, media and just everything just being thrown at us, we do need positive role models. And I feel like there's just so much negativity and we've strayed so far away from God's original plan for certain things. And I feel like we do need people fighting for God's original plan and plan. I'm talking about God's original plan for like marriage, children, I feel like we need people out there, we need people to show forth what that might look like. Yeah, and I just ultimately want God to, I feel like our purpose for sharing is for God to be glorified and just for people to see God's plan, God's way of doing things in action. I'm not saying that we're going to be doing it we're going to be perfect at it.
Yeah.
But we just have a desire for it. So, I don't know, we just want to inspire people. So that's how I feel about having a public relationship, marriage.
Yeah, I mean, I've been asked this question a few times. I really, really support my wife in this. In fact, it's our channel now. Like my wife said already, my intention for also wanting to do it was because I wanted to show my generation that you can love one woman and stick to one woman, love her with all your heart, and look after this one woman till the end. Because I feel like a lot of my generation, we've lost a lot of values and morals, especially biblical morals and values about love, or what love should look like. So definitely I want to inspire my generation, men especially, to want to is the word emulate, like to copy what we have in terms of love. Not saying it's going to be perfect, like my wife said already. It's not going to be perfect, but it's the fact that we can make a commitment and see it to the very end.
Yeah,
like
we're striving for that.
Yeah, we're striving for that. So yeah.
Which ties into the next question, which is, how do you keep Christ the center of your marriage?
Before we got married, we're both Christians. Before we got married, we already knew Christ was the center, well, the foundation to us coming together. We just knew that we had to build on top of that. Not saying it is in our strength, because there were times in our relationship where we've had to go back to what the Word says and what the Bible says. And that's one way. So we read scriptures together, pray together, listen to sermons together. And these are means in which we've kept Christ the center of our relationship.
No matter how good you are, no matter how good a qualities you think you have, that cannot keep your marriage alive. Like, you have to rely on something other than you to pull you through, because your kindness, your patience will only take you so far. And I feel like when it does get you at that edge, you remember the bigger purpose, which is, this is about Christ, this is about His beauty, this is about His image, His glory, and that can just stretch you beyond what you felt you had to keep you going in the first place. The next question is, what has been your role in the marriage as wifey? Are there scriptures you can give which detail a wife's role? Okay, I'm not scripture savvy, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. However, I know that one verse, I don't think I even remember the exact where it came from, but it's the verse, a wise woman builds her home and a foolish woman tears down her home. But it's that scripture that I just mentioned that has kept me wanting to be a good wife in this marriage, because literally I might be very angry. I'm impulsive. I might be very, very angry and tempted to do something so negative, but that scripture comes to mind, and it's like, is this action gonna build my home, or is it tearing down my home? And honestly, it really does. It humbles me and it switches me back up. And Ollie has found the scripture for me kindly, and it's Proverbs 14 verses 1. And it says, the wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears hers down. I'm of the nature that a woman's primary interest should be homeward. I know that everything that I do work-wise, if it affects me at home, I might have to cut it, I might have to, let it go, because I want to protect my home first. And I feel like God has given women the innate ability to be able to do that, to multitask, to bear, to give. Honestly, it's such a higher calling, it really is. Next question. No, because I feel powerful being a woman.
I feel powerful being a man.
Yeah, but the next question is, how do you deal with offence and conflict in your marriage?
Wow. This song had a lot of people asking about conflict and resolution. Conflict resolution, I would deal with it. Well, in our marriage, earlier on in marriage, I think I found it very hard to deal with conflicts and settling conflicts and moving forward, moving past conflicts. So it might have taken me, let's say at the beginning, it took me like a week to get over something my wife would have done, or it could have been the slightest thing. So it wasn't even like things that were massive. It was just little things, and it took me a while. But earlier on in our marriage, my wife reminded me, well, not reminded me, she kept urging me to try and move past conflict quicker and not to just dwell on them, because dwelling on them don't do nothing except waste time, waste energy. So she kept, I mean, through her actions, I was learning from her, through her actions, I would see that she was moving, like, she was just like, okay, I'm over it. And I was still there sulking. But, yeah, we decided to communicate whenever there was something going on. Also, do it as quickly as possible. So not just communicate. For me, I mean, like I said, at the beginning, it probably took me like a few days, probably 3 or 4 days to communicate. But now I feel like following her footsteps, I've been able to just do it quicker. So like, let's say I did something or she did something, I reckon within 2-3 hours maximum at the most, we'll get over it. Whenever we've actually been in conflict, I desire to love my wife more.
And you do. He just shows me grace in those moments where I feel like I deserve his worst. And
for me, it's like, I must show grace to my wife. I must. It's not should I must show it, because that's what Christ did for me. How much more can I do to the woman He's trusted me to look after? So yeah, I mean, God showed me grace. I'm always gonna have to show my wife grace, even when I don't want to, but I should always want to, and I do.
You really do.
No, definitely. Like, just you will get conflicts. Just know that there will be conflicts in your marriage. The quicker you guys can get over it, the better, because then you're not wasting time. You can make up. Where you guys can imagine that. I'm joking. But you can make up. Enjoy the rest of your time. Earlier on in marriage, actually, there was a point where when we hit this block.
Oh, we were bickering all the time. I swear, after we said I do and we came back here,
we were just bickering. We're at it.
Every little thing.
Yeah. And there was a point that we actually had to go and seek outside help for about. We drove an hour and a half to go meet this couple, and we were driving in silent. Like, we didn't talk to each other except.
The bear silent, boy.
Except I think when you said, "Oh, turn here," like literally we didn't speak. But now we laugh at it now. But back then it just felt like that was the end.
Yeah.
It really felt like that was the end. But
this even I was thinking, right, this was a short marriage.
Yeah. But no. So if you do have people you can talk to, please do it. Like, don't be ashamed.
At the beginning of marriage, like, we needed that outside help. We needed it because we weren't mature enough to handle 100%. Our conflicts by ourselves. But now, especially since being pregnant, we deal with issues on our own very quickly. Like, and I think that's a part of maturing.
It means that, so that's something that we did earlier on in marriage. We haven't done that in a long time. I mean, that was earlier on. We haven't had the need to. But
we might, in our second year of marriage, we might.
We just don't know. But we won't be like, I wouldn't be ashamed to. Anything to keep you by my side, lady, I'll do it.
Does finance cause conflict?
I
don't think we've ever had an issue about an argument about money.
But no, we haven't, and I think it's a lot to do with the fact that we spoke about these things. I mean, she was wise enough to when we were engaged. She said we looked at the causes of why people divorce, and we knew that finances was one of them. So yeah, it was a big issue. We know our finances work. We're very open with it. We haven't had any. So
and we share.
We just share it, yeah. What's hers is mine, what's mine is hers. And anything we spend our money on, literally, is for the benefit of our marriage, our family, our son. So I don't spend money anyhow. She don't spend anyhow. And when we want to spend anyhow, we spend anyhow together. So now we haven't had any yet, and we pray that we don't.
I know.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Alright, I guess this is going to be the last question. Just because I feel like we might be going on and on and on.
So much has happened this year, we can't even cut down to just this. Literally, we can play every day of the year. But anyway, let's go. Last question.
What are your marital expectations for next year? For this year?
For this coming year?
For year 2?
Well, I think the first thing that's on my mind is just obviously always just daily fall in love with my wife over and over again. But now we've also got a son, and he's our priority, just to make sure that we're setting a good example for him. So my thing is, I want to see my son joyful to be around us, and he started like whenever he sees us together,
always smiling.
Like no joke. Whenever he sees both of us
like
together,
our faces,
like if we're like this,
faces.
maybe it's just faces, but whenever he sees our face like this, he just starts smiling. And we want to focus on, well, I believe that this year we want to focus on understanding what family is, devotional time, spending time together in prayer, just talking, communicating, just talking about what our plans are for the future. And seeing them come to pass. What are your expectations?
Oh, my expectations. I don't have any expectations.
I was joking. Oh my days. Now
I don't have any expectations other than I expect that we fight for our love. You know, I'm not saying hard times won't come, because, you know, life just presents many different seasons. But I just hope and expect that we would fight. You know.
So she's got expectation to fight.
For love.
Oh, I get it.